Hello guys, welcome back. You won't have any way of understanding these videos if you don't go back and watch the first episode to understand how this all originated. But I can't explain it every single video, so let's just continue with my vlog. I'm up to like episode nearly 40 by now, something like that. I live every single day of my life with severe short-term memory, and in short, the people around me have not looked after me. My family and friends were not family and friends even half of what I would have done for them, and I've fallen to the bottom of the hole. Practically I was homeless, lost half of my belongings, haven't seen my wife and son for over 2 years, and just being abused on paperwork by my wife saying that I'm a bad dad because she knows with my intellectual disability she can say anything she wants and she can keep full control of our house, our assets. It was 2 houses, she sold one without any form of permission from me, and keep my son away from me, and I have no ability to understand the paperwork to reply to it with a lawyer in any way, so she just gets to make the claims that are false and get whatever she wants from the false claims. That's my intro. So I wake up in bed on this Tuesday. I can't even remember the date. I think it's the 30th of July. And I'll get out of bed and explain to everyone, if you're a previous watcher of my videos, how you need to remain motivated no matter how bad your life is. Otherwise it just gets worse. So I'm unemployed, I'm on disability pension. The NDIS just sent me a piece of paper saying your budget for a year is $200,000. That disgusts me. That outrages me. I don't want to have platinum 4-ply toilet paper of gold wiping my ass with $200,000 of taxpayer money. I know very well that that money is not needed to look after myself. Anyways, I've got to get out of bed because if you just get to see this ugly knob lying in a dark bedroom, you're already probably not even watching the video. If you're any of the previous viewers that are still watching my videos, thank you very much. The subscribers coming along pretty quickly. And I can even see in the data that people are passing the videos on, so thank you guys for trying to help me. I'm just making my situation maybe known enough to be helped one day, and if I'm not, at least the shit that I'm going through can help someone feel better about their own life. So first important thing I'll say at the age of 41 that I'll tell my son throughout his entire life many times. And I'll tell anyone watching this video, if you're a stereotypical man that's getting dominated by women abuse these days, in making false claims, being automatically protected with no form of proper processing, and the man, even if he was the one that worked full-time and was paying off the house, gets kicked out of his house because of the claims of domestic violence, and he has to go live with his best friend or his mother, and the woman can just keep everything. She can keep all the house, all the money, all the children, and it can take you a minimum of 6 months to even 4 years to see your children again. It's a disgusting system and it needs to change. It's my son's birthday today. He's turning 4. I haven't been allowed to see him due to my wife's false and illegal to even say if they're false claims that I would damage everyone and destroy everything, and that I would kill her, that I'd kill myself, that I'd kill my son. My wife came up with about 20 claims like that to suggest that safety was needed to keep my son away from me. None of it's got any evidence that supports the claims, but with the new way in which women can ask for instant protection without anything being processed in a legal system like the past, she got everything. The house, my son, and I lost absolutely everything. But I'm going to get out of bed and I'm going to tell you guys about how I'm not going to be depressed and how I'm going to get back what's mine. I look like shit, I feel like shit. I've already made my morning coffee and I nearly went back to bed with extreme depression, and I nearly did what a lot of people do. And that's when someone gets greatly abused by the people around them, their family, their friends. They quite often decide that life just isn't worth living and that they're just going to let someone win. They're going to let somebody defeat them, and they're just going to crawl up in the dark bedroom in their bed and just go back to sleep because they can't handle their lives. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's very common, sadly. It's not uncommon at all. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to get my life back and not be depressed. I have severe intellectual disability with the scar on my side of my head. I've mentioned in my previous videos, but I have to keep mentioning it because there's a lot of videos. I don't know, because I can't look at the eyes in the side of my head at the video. Can you see the scar or not? It looks like a American gangster wannabe hairline that he's had put in when he gets his hair cut. That was the removal of my brain tumour back in the end of 2001, and my entire life was switched off. I have no form of memory of anything I ever did in my life between 2001 to 2006. There's nothing, absolute nothing, no memories. And then from 2006 to 2012, as far as I can best remember and understand, I think is true, I don't really know. I think I kind of learnt to talk again without severe stuttering. I redeveloped a personality watching television, trying to work out what is an average person meant to be, what is racism, what is my sexuality, am I against foreign blood people, do I hate them, am I racist, do I not like black people, do I not like Chinese people, Asian people, am I straight, do I want random sex, do I want long-term relationship with one woman and nothing else? And I just had to keep watching the television and develop what I thought was the most correct and appropriate form of personality, because I couldn't even understand my feelings or what people are meant to do with themselves anymore. I met the dream woman of my life eventually, a number of years later, in about 2018, 2019, and she was something I'd written down on a piece of paper. She was completely perfect. A 24-year-old, beautiful, short, cute, curly-haired, innocent woman, still a virgin, and extremely innocent with a bit excessive, I found out later on, Christian homeschooling. This was like being struck by lightning in ways of not bad luck but good luck. It was like a, 1/10 million girl, but it didn't end well. And the extreme innocence and religion of the psychotic mother that raised her, that made her so innocent and a virgin at the age of 24, and marrying me, becoming my wife, turned into someone that was mentally unstable, had never experienced anything in life, and absolutely overreacted and melted, and then just did what the church told her to do, which was to leave her husband that she'd had a child with, my son Jason, who is 4 years old today, and I haven't seen him in 2 years. Never-ending illegal actions and illegal false claims have been laid against myself, and even my wife, hitting me and leaving a mark on my chest that I have recorded on photos and video. But because of my intellectual disability and the love for my wife, I was never really able to understand how to submit to use any of that or to reply to her false illegal claims myself. So my son has been taken away from me for the last 2 years with her predictable false claims that he's bad in every single way. Kill himself, kill me, kill the child. And then she's like, "Judge, can you give me a reaction? Now that I've said he will kill everyone because he's 6'1" and he's male, are you just going to believe me because I'm short and I'm a woman? And let me keep the house, let me keep 100% of all our assets, even his personal belongings long before we met. Let me keep the child and let him have absolutely nothing and become homeless with his intellectual disability and not even have his own property returned to him. Not even have visits to his son. Not even have these disgusting things that I thought were not good enough in the beginning, which was a supervised visit in a locked, enclosed room that had been mentioned to me endlessly for the last 2 years that I haven't seen my son, but it's never happened, and I don't know why, because of my memory, and I can't remember what to do. I'm in so much pain. JJ, I love you and miss you so much, not every day, but probably even more than once every single hour of every single day. It's killing me. But the more people get stood on, I'll say members of the public, and the more people get stood on, I'll say to my son, the stronger you get if you manage to stand back up again. A person that gets punched in the face and thrown to the ground is hurt and is weak. But you're probably already beginning to understand my point, the idea of it. But if that person gets punched in the face and thrown to the ground, and he stands up, he's most likely stronger the second time he's punched in the face and thrown to the ground. And when you get theoretically punched in the face and thrown to the ground, 400 times, if you're still there, you're probably really strong at this, and they don't have much impact, the blows, anymore. That's kind of what I'm going through. My wife did so many things to me that are illegal and false. I can't even have the time to go through it. But I'm still here. I survived. I fell to the bottom, and now I feel very strong and powerful on my way back up, and I think that she is going to face a lot of justice in the near future. And the biggest penalty that she is going to face is that when I've recorded all my events and what happens to me while my wife lies about me, uses her gender against me and her body size to get a false victim card, my son's going to see these videos one day. Not just this series, but I have hundreds of personal other videos of endless displays of my wife's lying. And just one single example I'll give you. While she claims that she's a victim and hiding from me scared for the final 1.5 years of our relationship and our marriage of 8 years, she claims I'm not there and I'm some horrific bad person who stalks her and sees her when she doesn't want me ever there. And I'm inside her house sometimes and she just makes up excuses while I'm there, saying, oh, he's making me do his washing. No, I was domestically abused and I was the person just forced to do whatever she told me to do. I was the one mopping the floors. I was the one doing the dishes. I was the one taking her car to an auto place to fix her flat tire for the second time in 1 month, like her slave. And every time her family come around about religion, she'd get me to go hide in the shed or go into my car and spend one entire day for my son's own 3rd birthday. She got me, I swear this on the life of my son, my wife abused me that hardcore. She got me to sit in my car for like the 100th time to hide from her parents. And that day on my son's 3rd birthday, I had to sit in the car and get sunburned and change the angle of my car to not have the sun pointed directly at me, to not get severely sunburnt. Several times a day. I spent the entire day in the car, got very burnt, and then she said, you can come home now because I don't need to hide you anymore. Now that's incredible long-term abuse. She's a woman, I'm a 6'1" strong man, but that doesn't matter. That's still disgusting abuse, and she will face consequences for it one day. So anyways, you won't understand this video. If you're still there and you don't even know what the hell this guy's talking about and you didn't watch any of my previous episodes, then thank you for your very strong open-mindedness. Because I myself think that if you don't know what I'm talking about and you just hear this, then if you're an average person, you have all the right justified reasons to think that I'm just a nutcase carrying on to myself. But no, what it's about is because I've been destroyed so much by my wife and I'm still here, I decided that it wasn't even my choice. It was kind of my responsibility. If I wanted nothing even, it was my job for the sake of my son, that if I've survived this much, I have to keep going. I have to rebuild my life. I have to try and get my employment. I have intellectual disability. I'm on disability support pension since 2001, when they ripped my brain tumor out and I couldn't even understand who I was and I had to recreate a new personality. Now, in 2026, I'm on NDIS and the budget is just skyrocketing. I can't tell if my NDIS provider is taking advantage of my intellectual disability and my short-term memory, which means I can't remember dates, times, non-visual things like spoken conversation, street addresses. I can't remember those things, but I can visually remember 400% that of an average person. Every time I've sat down in a chair and met with my NDIS support coordinator, I can remember where all the appointments are, where we parked our car, and so on. And returning to the point, sorry for straying, I will always do that because of my severe short-term memory disability. I don't understand what's going on. The government is picking my ass up. The government is giving me $20,000, then 40, then 60, then 110. And just recently, about 4 days ago, I received a piece of paper saying, congratulations, we're going to wipe your ass with $200,000 budget for the next year. That was too much for me. It made me pretty much have a mental breakdown and no self-esteem left. I rang up my NDIS provider. I was practically crying and I said, what is this? I'm not mentally retarded. I don't need people around my house doing daily duties, like washing my dishes and cooking my food. I do everything myself. I keep my house neat and tidy by myself. What the fuck is this $200,000? It upset me greatly and I'm trying to work out how to not receive the $200,000. I don't want it. One of my NDIS providers is helping me get employment, which is what I want, and to look after myself. Sorry, taxpayers, it's not my fault. If my wife didn't break the law, I will say carefully, break the law, not do something I personally want, just factually break the law, I would have a minimum of $100,000 to have my own house to purchase somewhere. I'd be paying off my own mortgage and I'm sure by now have a mid-level 4 out of 10 full-time job. Anyways, the combination of my pain and anxiety not seeing my son today on his 4th birthday and my memory, the combination of that is breaking me up. I can't think very clearly. Give me a sec, I have to pause it. So I just have to keep going. I'm going to put the phone down, I'm going to jump in the shower, and I'll show these videos to my son one day in the future. I don't get to see him in any way. My wife is so psychotic, she even come up with court orders that I'm not even allowed to buy him presents. I'm not allowed to talk to him on the telephone. I'm not allowed to send emails. I'm not allowed to send videos. I'm not allowed to send mail. I'm not allowed to have any form of making any form of contact with my son for the last 2 years. That is disgustingly horrific, and no matter what anything my wife did, which is one thing, that's fine, and I can be very mature at my age of 41 and my intellectual disability. I can ignore that very easily. That's fine. If she wants to be crazy, that's fine. On the other side, the government will just have common sense reality, and my minimum rights will be upheld and respected, and I'll very easily, very quickly be able to give my son something for his birthday, and I'll very quickly, effortlessly, easily be able to get back my rights enough to see him and take him out on the next weekend and have fun with him, right? No. One thing that you will hear about in politics from not just me, but from people like Pauline Hanson in her current campaign, and no, I'm not making this because it has something to do with her, it's just a coincidence that what I am saying is being standout expressed by her at the moment, by coincidence. Pauline Hanson, one of her points, if you go look around on the internet, type in Pauline Hanson and men's rights, and she shocked me and made my eyes nearly fall out of my head when I woke up one morning in this shithole depressed, having all my assets, 100% of all my belongings, what I even had before my wife met me, taken away from me. And I haven't seen my son now in 2 years, and it's his 4th birthday today. I didn't get to see him for his 3rd birthday. I didn't get to see him for his 4th birthday. My wife was so psychotic that for his 2nd birthday, she had me hiding in an alternative house while she carried out an all-day birthday activity with my in-laws, falsely telling me I would be part of it and that she would have respect for me to be introduced to be at that occasion, but she didn't. And on his very 1st birthday, I have pictures and videos of us going bowling, but she is claiming in paperwork that she's an abused, false victim who's scared of me, never has contact with me, and I'm a dangerous predator. Yeah, then why the fuck did we go bowling? Why did you come to my house you threw me out into? Why did you take us out bowling? Why did you hold the camera taking all the pictures of me loving you and my son, and then in the future just say none of that happened and make claims that you've been hiding for years and I'm a horrific stalker and I want to kill myself and kill you and kill our son? I don't care. Justice will come about in the end, and whatever is fact always wins over fiction. Facts always win over fiction in the end, maybe not in the beginning, but they do eventually, one day, even if it's 80 years after World War I. The truth is always found out eventually. And love always wins over hate. I used to think that that's something pathetic that you see and hear about in a movie. It's not, it's correct. The reason why love will always win over hate. Love and truth always wins over hate and fear. Over hate and lies, because if you hate someone, you panic and you tend to do false things about them. That's what my wife's doing. If you love someone and you keep fighting for them, for reference, my son part, my love for my son is never going to disappear, so I'm never going to get covered by a rock, so to speak, that's dropped on my head. I'm always going to crawl out, and I'm always going to let my legs grow back, and I'm always going to walk back to fill out more paperwork to get my son back. And I'm currently being helped with a huge budget from the NDIS that I don't even want. And I need to stop talking and get out of here as quickly as possible because I have 30 minutes to be somewhere. So that's the end of the video, guys. If you hung around to the end, thank you very much. It means you're open-minded. If you have any advice or just positive comments to help me keep going, to keep being motivated to reproduce myself, to get a good job, come off the DSP, come off the NDIS, and to have a full-time job and have the money to get a lawyer and get my son back one day in the very near future, please do that. Please post your comment. I will thank you for the motivation to try and continue and to get my son back. It's his 4th birthday today. JJ is 4 years old. I said that, a short-term memory example. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I think most men in my situation would feel disgustingly abused by their previous female partner, and they'd be so embarrassed that they're bigger and they're male and she's smaller suggestively and female, and she just took her gender as a weapon and as like a bazooka just blew you away. And even if you were the man that was paying off the house with the mortgage under your name, these days the woman gets the house, the woman gets the children. All her claims of suggested danger in case she's killed are just instantaneously believed, no matter how bullshit and false they are and unintelligent the claims are, lad. Even logic isn't paid attention to anymore. My wife has made so many claims about me that some of them are just eye-rolling, and I'm not even upset about her because they're so eye-rollingly stupid and easy to prove are false. I just turn my head and would look at the judge and go, are you for real? She says something like that, very, very unintelligent claim, a very unintelligent claim, just doesn't exist. You're going to take even the possibility that could be correct, and you're going to waste me and my son for having the last 2 years of our life together? I heard from other men in similar situations to myself that they had the same thing happen to them, and I will honestly admit that when I heard about domestic violence from these other men and heard of what they're accused of, I didn't believe them. And I thought that they were full of shit and that they were dumb and violent. And I think a lot of people that will watch this video will stereotype me the same way. And they'll think I'm male, I'm domestic violence bad. It's not the woman, it can't be. And he just must be dumb and bad in his own dream world. That's fine. If you do it to me, I understand because I did it to them. But as I continue to be abused by my wife physically and mentally to extreme levels, that's not a quick claim. It's detail I could talk about for an hour in itself. I have pictures and videos of her leaving injury marks on my body, but because I'm male, the police were just not interested. Anyway, I really need to go. The points of this video, the two main points. Number one, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, and you know, if you have an exact situation like what's happened to me, just don't stay down, guys. Today is the morning where I was in the most stereotypical situation imaginable, where I've had my entire life, my beloved child, and my money and assets of the last 20 years I've acquired over my life, all taken away from me, and you're back down at the very bottom. That's when most people want to start doing drugs, alcohol, suicide, and they can just destroy themselves more with drug and alcohol abuse, doing brain damage to themselves quite literally, and they just wither and stereotypically roll up in bed, start hanging out with disgusting people with other drugs and mental health issues, problems, abuse, and their life is just fucked forever, and they never get to see their children ever again. They never get their house and their money back. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I woke up this morning in the start of this video and I looked miserable and I was freezing. I was curled up in bed and I felt like life is not worth living. It's the second year in a row of my son's birthday, and I'm shocked in disbelief that the South Australian government has allowed my wife to make her false claims. They've not protected me from the false claims. They've not given me legal representation which allows me to even reply to the false claims. Because these are points as I go along, I'm not random fingers. This is true. Sorry, severe short-term memory. Do you understand the point I'm trying to make? I'm going to keep going, guys. We really need to move. So today I'm going to the local community centre. It makes me feel so much more happy and positive to see people around me. Young, old, male, female, elderly, retired, young children, visualising my son that I'm missing so much. It all helps. And I've run out of fingers, back to 6. I'm going to be productive today and I'm going to do stuff. I have a hobby of arts that I had before I met my wife, and I was a pretty good painter. But when I met her, I just loved her so much, and raising our future child, which then was produced, our son, that I didn't do the painting at all, nothing. It just went out the window, and people would look at my old paintings from 1, 2, 4, 7 years ago, and they'd say, why don't you paint? And I'd say, I just don't care anymore, because I don't care if I'm good at painting. I've got everything I want. I have a house over my head, I have my wife and my first child, and me and my wife plan to have 5 more children. So I'm living in heaven. I don't need to paint. I don't need money for paintings. And hanging out with my son and teaching him everything is far more interesting, and taking my wife out on every single weekend, water skiing, rock climbing, kayaking, abseiling, all these things is so much more action-packed and enjoyable than the painting. So I'll do that. But you get it. Up to number 7. But when my wife dropped highly illegal and mentally damaging false claims over me to take all of my assets and my son away from me, and find a new man in a flash, I'll add. I don't think people that suffer from domestic violence find a new guy in 3 months. Sorry, have him move in to the family house after you've separated from the suggested big bad guy in 3 months. I think my wife was so dodgy that she even started dating this guy while she's still sleeping in the same bed next to me. Either that, or she got abused by me suggestively, got over it, started dating another man, talking to him, and then had him move into her house, my house, half, in something like 2.5 or 3 months. What on earth? There's no such thing as a domestic violence victim that does that. You would be traumatized. You would need to spend years, if you were abused, at rebuilding your mental health state to feel safe around a man again because you've just said you've been abused. It's all false. She's smiling, she's strong, she's powerful, everything she says is false, and she's psychotically controlling. And me not even needing to say things like this to my son, me just being nice to people and going out and continuing doing what I'm going to do today, I'm going to re-establish myself, and I'm going to rebuild all my friends around me and display myself to the public as much as possible, who I truly am. And I'm going to keep myself mentally sane. I'm going to get out of bed, not lie in the bed. So I'm up to like .8 by now, if you're keeping up with me. Keep going, guys. That's point number 8. Just keep going, guys and women. It doesn't matter what anyone does to you or abuses you or lies about you. And even if they're successful in a courtroom, and even if they get their children, your children, taken away from you for false reasons, the worst possible thing you can do is just lie in bed, like I was just about to do on my son's 4th birthday when I woke up early this morning. I had the choice. It's 6 a.m, you've woken up and you couldn't even sleep. You're so traumatized by what your wife has done and said about you and not letting you see your son. Do you just go mentally insane and curl up into a ball and go back to sleep? Or do you stand tall, jump in the shower and go out marching and find things to do with yourself? So that's what I'm doing, guys. This video has gone way too long. I can't believe I've talked for nearly half an hour. It's probably because of the extreme truth and passion I have to prove myself and for my son. If I was full of shit making up stuff, you wouldn't be able to gas bag that long because you wouldn't be able to remember that many false examples, feelings, etc. So I'm going to get in the shower, I'm going to go to the local community house, and I'm going to take part in a woodwork safety induction thing course, whatever you call it, safety tick. And then I'm going to make my own prestigious, beautiful frames to my own professional art. And I'll tell you in my next video about how I might be able to begin selling my paintings for what somebody suggested me at a minimum of $2,000. Wow, really? All right, let's go. I need to go have my shower. I'm already going to run late. To anyone that's subscribed to my channel and believes what I'm saying and wants to support me and help motivate me to keep going, thank you guys very much. If you have any comments that you're a woman or you're a man that believes that I am the victim of domestic violence and abuse and that my wife has illegally taken advantage of my gender and broken laws to keep my son away from me, and that I'm very obviously a smart guy and a good dad. We'll talk about Super Nanny sometime. That's like my hobby. See you guys next time. Please like, please subscribe, pass the video around, and to help people like me subscribe to this channel and get others to watch the video. Not for me. I'm not going to make any money out of this. If I had 1 million YouTube subscribers, you don't make any money these days. And I don't care about the attention. On the soul of my son, I care about nothing but getting him back. And if there's lots of people watching these videos giving me advice and passing the word around about laws that need to change, like Pauline Hanson is going for, not letting women just say things and instantly destroy men, that's one of her things that she's going for, her points in her campaign, is bringing back gender equality and rights, not having these automatic bang protection law, woman safe, kept safe, men has nothing, man go live with mum, woman keep everything, house, money, all the children, no questions asked. Pauline Hanson's going against that. I was shocked and disbelief. My jaw fell to the ground when I saw that on my phone, and I looked at her face to try and work out if this is my mobile phone and Facebook reading my mind, and are they giving me falsely generated bullshit AI Facebook posts just to make my imagination feel happy? Is this like computer con artistry, if that's even a word? Or is Pauline Hanson actually doing that? Someone post a comment down below. Is that real? Did I get done over by Facebook giving me false videos? Or is it true that Pauline Hanson, in one of her current electoral things that she's going for, I'll do this, I'll do that. Is she actually stating that? Is she stating that if you vote for her, she's going to reduce the power of women over men in relationships in domestic violence claims, and to stop women from automatically being able to be given everything stolen from the man? Is that what she's doing? Please post a comment, let me know. I think it's true. I'm going to find out. I'm going to be late. I need to go do my woodwork. Thank you for hanging out, guys. If you made it all the way to the end of a painful half-an-hour video, you're a very nice person. Please subscribe if you already haven't, and please pass the word around to help me expose my living situation so that I can be more powerful to have this bullshit breaking of the law stopped, exposed, and people giving me advice on how I fight for my minimum rights with my current lawyer. Thank you, guys. Love yous all. And my son, JJ, I don't know if it's appropriate for Daddy to even ever show you this video one day, but Daddy's never going to stop trying. Daddy's going to try and remain calm, smart, and powerful as he can. And no violence, no anger, no hate and blame, just logic, thinking, processing, doing paperwork, and hopefully members of the public, and hopefully my cheap, shitty lawyer that's provided by the government, and hopefully this bullshit $200,000 NDIS budget that I don't even want. If they're going to give me that, hopefully that gives me power to get my child back. I love yous all. Love you, JJ. Today's your fourth birthday. I bought you presents for your last third and fourth birthday, and I've still got them, but I can't give them to you because if I do, Mum will try and have me arrested and put in jail with psychotic false claims. Bye, guys.